Have you ever felt like a piece of your life was missing, like there was a void you couldn't quite explain? Today we're going to dive into a story that might just resonate with that feeling. It's a tale of hidden truths, unexpected discoveries, and the power of resilience. But before we begin, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to join our True Spark family. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Meet Susan, a 25-year-old woman who grew up believing her mother had abandoned her as a child. For years, she struggled with feelings of inadequacy and rejection, never quite understanding why her own mother would leave her behind. Little did she know, her entire world was about to be turned upside down by a discovery that would challenge everything she thought she knew about her past. As we unravel Susan's story, you'll find yourself questioning the nature of family, the impact of secrets, and the strength it takes to forgive. But there's more to this tale than meets the eye. Stay tuned, because the twists and turns ahead will leave you breathless, and the lessons learned might just change your life. Are you ready to embark on this emotional journey with Susan? Let's dive in. Susan had always been a quiet, introspective child. Her father, John, was loving, but often seemed distant, as if carrying a heavy burden he couldn't share. Her stepmother, Linda, tried her best to fill the maternal void, but there was always an unspoken tension between them. As Susan entered her teenage years, the questions about her mother became more frequent and pressing. Why did she leave? Didn't she love me? She would ask her father, who would simply shake his head and say, "Sometimes people make choices we can't understand." These vague answers only fueled Susan's imagination and deepened her sense of loss. Despite the emotional turmoil, Susan excelled in school and pursued her passion for art. She found solace in painting, creating vibrant canvases that seemed to speak of a longing she couldn't put into words. Her talent didn't go unnoticed, and soon she was accepted into a prestigious art program at a university across the country. The day before Susan was set to leave for college, she decided to clean out her childhood bedroom. As she sorted through old toys and books, her hand brushed against something wedged behind her dresser. Curious, she pulled it out. It was a small, dusty box she'd never seen before. With trembling hands, Susan opened the box. Inside, she found a stack of letters, all addressed to her in unfamiliar handwriting. Her heart raced as she unfolded the first one and began to read. The world seemed to stop as Susan realized what she was holding. Letters from her mother, dozens of them spanning years. Each one filled with love, explanations, and a desperate desire to connect. But how had they ended up hidden behind her dresser? As Susan read letter after letter, tears streaming down her face, she began to piece together a very different story from the one she'd been told. Her mother hadn't abandoned her. She'd been trying to reach out all along. But why hadn't Susan received these letters? Who had kept them from her? Overwhelmed with emotion, Susan confronted her father. John's face paled as he saw the letters in her hands. "Where did you find those?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Susan demanded answers, and slowly, painfully, the truth began to emerge. It turned out that Susan's mother, Emily, had been struggling with postpartum depression after Susan's birth. In a moment of desperation, she had left, believing it was best for her daughter. But she had never stopped loving Susan or trying to make amends. John, hurt and angry, had initially kept Emily's letters from Susan, believing he was protecting his daughter from further pain. But as the years passed, he realized his mistake. He had placed the box in Susan's room, hoping she would find it when she was older and ready to understand. But there was one more piece to this puzzle: Linda, Susan's stepmother. As the confrontation unfolded, Linda's guilty expression said it all. She confessed to finding the box years ago and hiding it, afraid of losing her place in Susan's life if the truth came out. Susan felt as if her world was crumbling around her. The people she had trusted most had been keeping this enormous secret from her, but amidst the turmoil, a small spark of hope ignited in her heart. With her departure for college looming, Susan had to make a choice. Should she stay and confront this new reality, or leave and process everything from a distance? After much soul-searching, she decided to go to college as planned, but with a new mission: to find her mother. The next few months were a whirlwind of emotions for Susan. As she adjusted to college life, she also began the process of tracking down her mother. Each new lead brought a mix of excitement and anxiety. What if Emily didn't want to see her? What if the reality didn't match the loving words in those letters? Meanwhile, Susan's relationships with her father and stepmother were strained. She struggled to forgive their deception, even as she tried to understand their motivations. Regular therapy sessions helped her navigate the complex emotions she was experiencing. As Susan delved deeper into her search, she discovered a talent for investigation. She joined the college newspaper, using her newfound skills to help others while honing her ability to uncover hidden truths. Her art took on new dimensions too, as she processed her emotions through her paintings. Finally, after months of searching, Susan got the breakthrough she'd been hoping for. She found a current address for Emily. With her heart pounding, she wrote a letter of her own, pouring out years of questions, hurt, and hope onto the pages. Weeks passed with no response, and Susan began to lose hope. But then, on a crisp autumn morning, she received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end was hesitant, emotional. "Susan, this is your mother." The reunion was tearful, joyful, and overwhelming. Emily explained her struggles with mental health, her regret at leaving, and her countless attempts to reconnect. As they talked, Susan felt pieces of herself falling into place, questions she'd had her entire life finally being answered. But the path to healing wasn't easy. Susan had to navigate complex feelings towards all the parental figures in her life. She worked on forgiving Linda and her father, understanding that their actions, while misguided, came from a place of love and protection. As Susan's relationship with Emily grew, she also deepened her connection with her art. She created a series of paintings that told her story, the pain of perceived abandonment, the shock of discovery, and the journey towards healing and forgiveness. The series, titled Hidden Letters, gained attention in the art world, resonating with many who had experienced family secrets and reconciliation. Susan's story began to inspire others. She started a support group for people dealing with family estrangement and secrets. Through this work, she realized that her experience, though painful, had given her the ability to help others navigate similar situations. As graduation approached, Susan found herself at a crossroads once again. But this time, she faced the future with a sense of wholeness she'd never known before. She had two mothers now, one who had given birth to her and another who had raised her. Susan's journey taught her that family is complex, that love can persist through years of separation, and that forgiveness is a powerful force for healing. She learned that the truth, no matter how painful, is ultimately freeing, and she discovered a strength within herself that she never knew existed. As we near the end of Susan's story, remember that her journey of discovery and healing is ongoing. Just like Susan, many of us have hidden chapters in our lives waiting to be uncovered. If her story has resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on TrueSpark. Susan's story doesn't end here. In fact, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. She continues to build relationships with both her biological mother and her stepmother, learning to appreciate the unique gifts each brings to her life. Her father, too, is working to mend the trust that was broken, showing that it's never too late to right a wrong. The lessons Susan learned through this journey are universal. First, the importance of honesty in relationships' secrets, no matter how well-intentioned, can cause deep and lasting pain. Second, the power of forgiveness, not just for others, but for our own healing. As we wrap up this incredible story, I want you to take a moment to reflect. Are there hidden truths in your own life that need to be addressed? Are there relationships that could benefit from open, honest communication? Remember, it's never too late to seek the truth and work towards healing. If Susan's journey has touched you, please consider sharing this video. Your share could be the catalyst someone needs to begin their own journey of discovery and reconciliation, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your own experiences, or words of encouragement for others who might be going through similar situations. Before you go, hit that like button if you found value in Susan's story. And if you haven't already, Subscribe to True Spark for more inspiring real-life stories that will motivate you to live your best life. Remember, every subscribe, like, and share helps us reach more people with these powerful messages of hope and transformation. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Until next time, keep seeking your truth and never stop believing in the power of love and forgiveness. This is True Spark, signing off.